It's Yash. Some people asking me about hell. What happens? You know, is it eternal? No, it's not. And hell isn't. It's not a punishment. See, this is what certain people do. They take words and then they manipulate with them and twist them around and try to use it to control people, basically. But something inside you must know that. How could there be an eternal hell? How can you do something so bad that puts you in eternal hell? How can anything happen, even the worst thing, how could that happen against the permissive will of God anyway? You see, this is a whole nother funny thing. There's this idea some people have that there's God and the so-called devil or Satan or negative forces or whatever you want to call it. They're like battling each other, you know. God takes a hit, you know. Devil hits him with the overhand right, bam. And God comes back, you know, elbows him, drops bows. And the devil's like, oh man, right? It doesn't happen like that. Like, they're not fighting. The negative forces is God's agent. God created that for the game of life. Can't have positive and good without so-called negative and bad. But here's the main thing. Even the worst things that have happened and that are going to happen and that are happening, it's still happening within the dream. I'm not sugarcoating it though. If I see somebody out here suffering, I'm going to see like, what can I do for you? You want some water? You want, like, what are we going to do? Maybe I'll tell them nothing exists or something. No, I won't say that. So this is the game of life. But I'm saying, so it's not that we don't try to help somebody. It's not that we don't take anything serious, but I'm saying underneath that, when this body drops, let's say you've been tortured, you're getting tortured and you're like, you know, like you're just tortured and you die, and then they give you epinephrine to wake you back up. So then they torture you more. And then at some point though, the heart is gonna fail, and then you're gonna wake up and realize, whoa, I didn't really die, man. That was an intense experience, but like, I'm still like, the energy's still here. Couldn't kill it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't take this show entirely serious, because look how many people die every day. Look how many sentient beings die every day. Look how easy it is to die. Look how easy it is to make mistakes and do the wrong thing. I used to speak at prisons. Plenty of people are in prison. Plenty. For killing somebody or doing something they didn't mean to do. It was a situation, man. Like, it, you know, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and in the wrong mood. You can't say what you're going to do or not do. So somehow God's running this whole show, the good and the bad. So how are you going to go to eternal hell for something that God did, basically? So no, God couldn't do that. What do you mean? You wouldn't exist without the God essence. Of course he did it. But did he really do anything? Only as an appearance he did something. They say, well, no, but they gave you free will and you chose to do it. Yeah, check that. Contemplate how free your will is. However you're feeling about me talking right now, try to feel the opposite. If some of the, you can say, more dogmatic-minded people may not like what I'm sharing right now, okay, make yourself like it. Just turn it, just shift, be like, wow, he's dropping real science. You can't do it. So how much free will do we have? You know? And the ones that like me, stop liking me. Try to do that. All right. But there's hell. It's not just hell in, these are states of consciousness that exist on every level and plane. It's not that it doesn't exist here. Heaven exists here, hell exists here. Get into a nice relationship with your soulmate and you're probably going to experience heaven and hell. It's worth it though, so do it. So, and then when you leave the physical plane and you go on the more subtle planes, astral planes, Go see the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. They do pretty good. Oh, also that movie, oh man, I don't remember. That guy that makes all those outer space movies, he's really good. With Jodie Foster. It's kind of an older movie. That was good. So there's obviously other planes of existence. There's hell, heaven there too. Even if you go to a heavenly state, it's not, okay, see, it's the point. If eternal hell doesn't exist, eternal heaven also doesn't exist. Everything, any kind of state or place, subtle or gross, it's going to go through some change. You're going to, you know, things are going to change. This is the nature of life. That's why you can say self-realization is realizing this formless principle that doesn't change, and it can't really go anywhere because it's everywhere. It's only the individual existent, autonomous, seeming self in which this eternal principle is playing through that can go to these different states and places and planes, etc. This is the goal of self-realization. But that can always be recognized more and more and more. I wanted to touch on, the punishment versus purification part. If there's lessons here that we're supposed to learn, like if somebody was hurting people, they just cold-blooded, they just hurt you. You don't need to do anything wrong. In fact, they're looking for innocent victims that don't do anything wrong, and they enjoy hurting them. This is deep karma. This is deep karma. God, can I say this? See, this video, we're really stretching. I like stretching. Can we say that somehow they signed up for that? They signed up to experience that. Can we say that somehow are they the real badasses on one level? Because when you do that stuff, you're going to have some heavy karma. And you're going to go through the awakening from that. See, your murderers, they're future saints. They just don't know it yet. But the process of transformation that they're going to have to go through, it's going to be messy. Maybe some of us have already went through it. We can't remember. There's two things I want to talk on, and I'm thinking which one I want to say first. Okay, I'm going to say this one first. There's a movie. I've never been too attracted to the movies about Jesus. Not because I don't revere Jesus, but because of the way the movies are done, and they just exaggerate this whole crucifixion thing. I'm like, where's the resurrection? Okay, Martin Scorsese, he's a good one. You guys know, director. He made that movie, The Last Temptation of Christ. That was the first, I actually watched that. That was good. He did something in that movie that shook up the whole, the whole Christian religious world. Here's what he did. The whole Vatican, like everybody is just all like, no, you gotta, like they're ready to go to war. I mean, if you're peaceful inside, man, you don't have this dogma. You don't care. You don't get like everything. If you know the truth, you're one with the truth. What difference does it make what somebody else thinks? You're not going to go around and try to slam them with some absolute truth, because there's no absolute truth. God's made so many different spiritual teachings and religions to appeal to so many different temperaments and characters and etc. So here's what happened though. He made a movie and it showed Jesus and Judas, how do you say it? Judas or Judas. They're buddies, man. See, it's a whole new twist for the unfolding of life to happen the way it's supposed to happen. What Jesus or Judas betraying Jesus had to happen, but they were in on it. They knew it. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I hadn't seen this. This has been years. But I remember it. Why? Because it's like, I like it. I like that twist. When it gets right down to it, we don't know what happened. How we know what happened? We're trusting writings that happened like over 2,000 years ago. And you know how many translations that had to go through? Number one. Number two, the people that were there actually transcribing from Jesus, did they have the consciousness to really imbibe what he's even saying anyway? I like all religions. This is the funny thing. I like them all. I just don't like dogma, you know. I don't mind dogma. When I say I don't like it, I'm just saying it's not attractive for me. That's why I like the SRF, Self-Realization Fellowship. A nickname for them is the Church of All Religions. I like that. That's cool. All right. Back to the Judas story. So they got together, and Judas was actually the mastermind. I don't remember exactly how all this went down, but he's like, listen, this has to go down like this, man. You have to betray me, like, you got to betray me, and then you're gonna hang on that cross. And then, and Jesus is like, what did he say? At some point, he's like, I don't know. Oh no. I want to get this right, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to speak spontaneous and see if it comes right. Jesus was like, I can't. Or no, Judas. See, I wanted to get it right. Judas was like, man, I can't do that to you. See, I don't know who started it. I don't know who came up with the idea. I mean, it was cosmic, obviously. It came up with the idea, but I don't know who. Anyway, I remember the line Judas said, man, I can't do that to you. Like, what do you mean? Like, I love you. I can't. No way, I can't do that. And Jesus said, man, you got the easy job. No. Damn it, why can't I get things right? Jesus said, I got the easy job, man. All I got to do is suffer this for a couple hours. I'm going to be dead. He says, you got the hard job. You got to live for centuries with people thinking that you're the bad guy. And Judas was like, oh yeah, it's true. Make a good point there. And then there was another part in the movie when Jesus was on the cross getting tortured. He had some powers, obviously. When you're dialed in, you have some powers. So he transferred himself. He was able, because there's parallel universes. You know, if we would have went this way, our life would have been different. If we would have went this way, you see, all that's happening though at the same time. It's just the consciousness has localized itself, and it's focused on this particular universe or reality that we're living in. There's alternate for sure. It's just. And they're existing right now, but we're not focused on that. Okay, I had to say that for background. So then Jesus was like, man, this is too much, I'm out. And he transferred his consciousness into another reality. He had kids, he had a wife, everything, he's chilling, walking down the street, enjoying. Judas starts coming down the road. And Judas says, what are you doing, man? You need to get back up on that cross. We had a deal. He says, I did my end, which I'm not going to be done with for centuries. Woke Jesus up. Jesus like, yeah, my bad. Damn it. All right. Boom. See the high level game that Scorsese was trying to portray and depict? That's high level stuff, man. So anyway, I wanted to say that part. But here's what I want to end on about the punishment versus purification. It's not punishment. It's not like God's mad at you. God's so beyond judgment. He's so beyond like guilt and shame and, oh, you hurt my feelings because you like didn't pray to me. You know what I mean? No, the hell is our own higher self puts us there because we didn't get the lessons here. There's some people here, they just cannot help it. They like killing people. I've seen the interviews. And Jeffrey Dahmer's one of them. He told the guy, even, the interviewer, he says, look, don't let me out. If you let me out of this prison, I'm going to go do it again. He says, I can't help it. I'm just telling you, trying to be honest. Maybe he got some credit for that, spiritual credit. I don't know. So if you don't get the lessons here, you're going to get the lessons on another plane in another way. And now I like to reference the movie Powder, where that abusive father and the son that had all the trauma because the father was abusive, they were hunters and they were killing this deer. And Powder was there, and Powder took the guy's father's hand, put it on the deer that was dying, and allowed the father to experience what the deer was feeling. And the dad's like, I don't know what the kid did, but I'm not hunting anymore. He felt it. He felt what he did. That's what the purpose of hell is. We feel what our actions have done to other people because we're unconscious when we do it. We don't realize it, some things. So that's what hell does. It's better to realize it now. I mean, we'll be all right. You know, it's like hell's not forever. There's certain things you just can't know now. And there's different degrees of hell. It's not this, you know, you're burning in a lake of fire and your teeth are chattering. There was a preacher that that's how he was describing hell. There were kids, like we were like 7, 8 years old, and he's talking like that. Amazing. All right, so it's all good. Everything's good. Get your lesson. Learn your lessons here, though. Now, most of you, because I had somebody leave a comment, he was worried about hell. I'm like, bro, if you're tuned already to this level that's being shared here, this level of spirituality, you're good. Yeah, people that are, you know, when you're not unconscious. Unconscious people aren't going to be listening to this. They're going to be watching like death videos or something, you know. I don't know what they watch, but they're not going to be watching this. So don't worry about it. You do the best you can do, and that's all you can do. And we're always doing the best we can do anyway. That's the other thing. God's playing. He's running this show. He does things that put himself in hell. Then he does things that puts himself in heaven. All the while, the pure consciousness isn't touched. Doesn't suffer the hell. It doesn't so enjoy the heaven. The enjoyment and the suffering is still part of the game that's taking place in yourself. This has to be realized. And then, that's why I like what Muji said once. He's like, I don't know, he was talking about going to hell and talking to the devil and having a cup of coffee. He's like, look, if the universe sends me there, whatever, I'll have a cup of coffee, ask the devil how business is, devil be like, good. And then devil asks Muji how business is, you know, trying to help people spiritually. He's like, yeah, it's not too good. This is what we got to realize. Who we are in essence, it's beyond hell and heaven, awakening and not awakening, etc. Maybe because I talk in such casual, nonchalant way, maybe the mind's like, nah, he can't really know. Like, he can't be sitting outside and just chilling, talking about these things. That's why I'm glad. I like that God's using me, keeping me in a very unrefined, unconventional form, talking about this stuff. I like it. I really do, because it weeds out a lot of people. And those who are left, like those are my people. See, I'm only interested in my people. I'm not interested in numbers. That's stress, you know. All right, this was a long video. I guess this is an interesting subject. Hell and death, and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it does when I put it up. Let's see if the algorithm sends it to the right people. That's always a trip. All right, have a good day.